The big question for us became, how is blueback going to look in this film? Can we actually create blueback? Can we create a puppet that we can control in the water, that moves like a fish, that looks like a fish, that has the personality of this character that Tim wrote in his book? So we're really lucky to hook up with Creature Technology, world-renowned company, run by Sonny Tilders, who'd done a lot of work in film and TV, going back to Farscape, and understood the requirements of that.
Essentially, the process is just gathering as much reference as you possibly can. And you're able to see their incredible, almost dog-like mannerisms. They're incredibly inquisitive. They've got these beautiful eyes that track everything. They suggest there's an intelligence there more than your everyday fish.
We worked with an incredible sculptor there, Paul Smits, on building blueback. I began working with him on little maquettes this size with clay and trying to create the personality and the character, moving to a bigger maquette and then a moulded version of it. You realise how massive it's going to look in the water.
Gropers grow to about 1.5 metres, and the fish needed to be intimidating, at the same time needed to be not so scary that it couldn't get this relationship with the girl as she grew up.
So when we do the scene, you'll be treating it like a puppy dog. They do call him the Labrador of the sea.
And we're able to digitise the skin and expand that, and use that digital file with a CNC router to route out a styrene version of that fish, onto which we applied thin layers of plasticine to do the final texturing.
Kind of the human skin texture, it's bizarre, and then it sort of transitions into scales.
Creature Tech pioneered a form of skin which felt malleable and moved. And one of the things I think they've really triumphed with is creating a skin that actually moves with the water.
We did a bunch of silicon testing. We just wanted to make sure that we could capture the look of the scales. So we used a lot of different pearlescence and played with the transparency of silicon to try and get that right sort of luster and kick.
The Creature Tech team are incredible. The engineering and the physics of how the fins move and the tail moves in the water is astounding. The reality of that is that when we filmed, there was a team of 4 above the water, 3 puppeteers and 1 person controlling it above the water. Being in water, we couldn't run power to it. So it's all good old-fashioned mechanical movements with little wire cables that are being controlled.
The majority of films at the moment, if there's an animal, you just sort of assume that it's CGI. When Robert informed me we were going to use a puppet that had been specifically kind of made for us, I was so excited.
I didn't know it looked so real. It's amazing, like the technology and the way it moves, it just so flows.
And then when they actually put it in the water, I couldn't believe how effective it was. The way that it just looked so natural, and it even sort of breathed, its gills would move. It not only sort of the way that the puppeteers moved it, but it just allowed me to sort of completely forget that it was a puppet, and I felt as if I was acting with a real fish. It was really wonderful.
Blueback. We'll call him Blueback.
Stop them. You're gonna have to try now.
ブルーバック、あの海を見ていた。